Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today's our topic is about the alpha oxidation of fatty acids. Previously we studied the beta oxidation of fatty acids for the even chain fatty acids, for the odd chain fatty acids, and for the unsaturated fatty acids. Now we are going towards the other pathway for the oxidation of the fatty acids, that is the alpha oxidation of the fatty acids. This alpha oxidation of fatty acids occur in brain and liver microsomes. This is occurred only in the brain and liver microsomes. In these organs, the sum of the long chain even carbon fatty acids undergoes the alpha oxidation rather than the beta oxidation. These large long chain fatty acids oxidized aerobically in the presence of the oxygen in the liver and brain microsomes. The enzyme that is used for this alpha oxidation is the alpha hydroxylase, a monooxygenase enzyme which required the ferrikines, vitamin C, and folate, tetrahydrofolate as the coenzymes is required for the activation of this alpha hydroxylase enzyme. The enzyme, it is occurred in the presence of oxygen, and the enzyme is alpha hydroxylase, that is basically the monooxygenase enzyme. That is actually the monooxygenase enzyme. This monooxygenase enzyme uses the ferrikines, ferricines, tetrahydrofolate as the coenzyme, and the vitamin C. These are the coenzymes required for the activation of this alpha hydroxylase. There is no activation step of the fatty acid is required. In case of the alpha oxidations, as compared to the beta oxidation, there is no need of the activation of the fatty acids is required. So, some of the long chain fatty acids, even carbon fatty acids present in the brain and the liver cells, microsomes, are uses this alpha oxidation for this oxidation of the fatty acids. Let's see what happened to the fatty acids during this alpha oxidation. This is the fatty acid, long chain fatty acid that undergoes the alpha oxidation by the action of the alpha hydroxylase in the presence of ferricines, vitamin C, and tetrahydrofolate. And tetrahydrofolate is converted into alpha hydroxy fatty acid. Then it is converted into alpha hydroxy fatty acid. Alpha hydroxy fatty acids. This is converted into alpha hydroxy fatty acid by the enzyme alpha hydroxylase, and this reaction is called as hydroxylation. This reaction is called as hydroxylation. The first step in the alpha oxidation is the hydroxylation, and this is called as the hydroxylation process, and this is caused by the alpha hydroxylase, which converts the fatty acid into alpha hydroxy fatty acid. Then in the next step, the dehydrogenation occurs. In the second step, second step, that is dehydrogenation, and this is actually occurred by the dehydrogenase enzyme, and this alpha hydroxy fatty acid is converted into alpha keto acid. This alpha hydroxy acid is dehydrogenase NAD positive is converted into NADH plus H plus, and this is converted into alpha keto acid. Alpha keto acid. Alpha keto fatty acid. Then this is converted into alpha keto fatty acid. The two hydrogen atoms are from here and here are removed and goes to the NADH plus H plus. Second step is the dehydrogenation process, and in this dehydrogenation occur from the alpha carbon of the fatty acid, and this alpha hydroxy fatty acid is converted into alpha keto fatty acid, and these two hydrogens are removed and goes to the NAD positive, and which is converted into NADH plus H plus. This reaction occurred by the help of the dehydrogenase enzyme. Then this alpha keto acid undergoes the decarboxylation. In the next step, decarboxylation, removal of the carbon dioxide, and this is converted into removal of this keto group. Removal of this keto group as the carbon dioxide by the enzyme decarboxylation occur, and by the enzyme decarboxylase. This is then converted into odd chain fatty acid with one carbon less. Odd chain fatty acid with one carbon less. So the final product of this alpha oxidation is the odd chain fatty acid with one carbon less. These reactions repeated again and again, and you think so that these reactions are repeated again and again as that of the beta oxidation reactions, but this is not the reality. Actually, this alpha oxidation occurred in some cases when there are the enzymes of the beta oxidations are deficient, or they are present in less amount as compared to the enzymes of the alpha oxidation. Then this alpha oxidation occurred. But when this odd chain fatty acids, if we started from the even chain fatty acid for this alpha oxidation, the molecule which is formed is actually the end product of this alpha oxidation is the odd chain fatty acid. And if we started this alpha oxidation from the odd chain fatty acid, then it resulted into the even chain fatty acids at the end. And now the normal process of this, then these odd chain fatty acids can normally be entered into the beta oxidation, and where it is produces the energy by different cycles, and at the end it also produces a propanil CoA, which must to be converted into the succinyl CoA and then entered into the tricarboxylic acid cycle. Now we are going towards the omega oxidation of Now we are going towards the omega oxidation of fatty acids. The second is the omega oxidation of the fatty acids. This is also the alternative oxidative pathway of the fatty acids as compared to the beta oxidation. When the enzymes of the beta oxidations are unavailable, then body uses the omega oxidation for the oxidation of the some of the medium and long chain fatty acids. This is also occurred aerobically in the presence of the oxygen. Liver microsomes are mostly the organs where the omega oxidation occurred. Liver microsomes are the organs where this omega oxidation occurred. Omega hydroxylase is the enzyme in this case of the omega oxidation, and it has the same property as the alpha hydroxylase, which the first reaction in this omega oxidation is also the hydroxylation reaction, but the enzyme used for this one is the omega hydroxylase enzyme. That is also a monooxygenase. It uses the cytochrome P450 as a coenzyme, the flavoprotein reductase, and NADP positive. Okay. The enzyme used for the first step is the omega hydroxylase enzyme, which uses the cytochrome P450 as the coenzyme. It uses the cytochrome P450 for the as the cytochrome P450 as the coenzyme. First step is the hydroxylation. In this case also, the first step is the hydroxylation that is occurred by the omega hydroxylase enzyme, which uses the cytochrome P450 as the coenzyme, and this is also a mono oxygenase enzyme, and this reaction occurred in the presence of the oxygen. Aerobic reaction. It is occurred in the presence of the oxygen. So let's see. As we know that this is the omega oxidation. So this is occurred in the omega fatty acids. Actually, omega fatty acids are those fatty acids which has the numbering. When we started the numbering from the methyl group side, then it is called as the omega fatty acids. And we know that omega 3, omega 6 and omega 9 fatty acids are present in our diet. Okay, CH3, CH2. CH3, CH2, CH2 and CH2 COOH. This is the omega fatty acid which undergoes the hydroxylation by the omega hydroxylase enzyme. P450, cytochrome P450, the formed molecule is omega hydroxy fatty acid. The formed molecule is omega hydroxy fatty acid. Then in the next step, the second step of this, omega oxidation is dehydrogenation and the enzyme used for this is NADP positive is converted into NADPH plus H plus. NADPH plus H plus. And the enzyme is NADP dependent dehydrogenase. CH aldehyde is aldehydic fatty acid is formed. By this reaction, the aldehydic fatty acid is formed and the omega hydroxy omega fatty acid is converted into aldehydic fatty acid by the action of the NADP dependent dehydrogenase, which uses the NADP positive as the coenzyme, and this NADP positive is converted into NADPH plus H plus. In the last step, the third step, that is the aldehydic enzyme, and oxidation occurred. Reaction is oxidation, and this is converted into dicarboxylic acid. Dicarboxylic alpha omega dicarboxylic acid. The final product is alpha omega dicarboxylic acid, and this final formed product alpha omega dicarboxylic acid undergoes the further oxidation by the beta oxidation process. It enters the beta oxidation. In case of omega oxidation, the first step is the hydroxylation, in which the CH3 molecule, CH3 carbon is called as the omega carbon. So the omega hydroxylase enzyme hydroxylize this omega carbon and converted this omega carbon into the omega hydroxy fatty acid. This formed omega hydroxy fatty acid then undergoes the dehydrogenation by the enzyme dehydrogenase, and this is converted into the aldehydic fatty acid. This aldehydic fatty acid then by the aldehydic enzyme undergoes the oxidation process. By the addition of the oxygen, this is converted into alpha omega dicarboxylic acid. Now if we goes towards the level of the energy production by this alpha oxidation and the omega oxidation, the energy production during this alpha oxidation and omega oxidation reduces, because the molecules when entered into this alpha oxidation or omega oxidation, it produces the less amount of energy, and if the body only uses this process for the oxidation of the fatty acids, like that in case of omega oxidation, only the NADPH plus H plus ions are produced, which produces the 3 ATPs as compared to the 5 ATPs that is produced by the beta oxidation cycle. And also at the end product is the dicarboxylic acid. So this dicarboxylic acid, even not again entered into this omega oxidation, this dicarboxylic acid is again entered into the beta oxidation, and this dicarboxylic acid is now reduces the chance of the energy production by the fatty acids during this beta oxidation process. Similarly, in case of the alpha oxidation process, the NADH plus H plus are produces, which produce the 3-ATP, and if the fatty acids undergoes repeated steps of this alpha oxidation, then the produced amount is very much less as compared to the beta oxidation, because note the end product of this omega oxidation is not the acetyl CoA, so the production of energy like that of the acetyl CoA is also not produced during these alpha oxidation, and also the produced amount of energy during each cycle is less as compared to the beta oxidation, that is the 3-ATP. Same as also the molecules which undergoes the alpha oxidation and omega oxidations are the some of the long chain fatty acids and some of the medium chain fatty acids only undergoes these reactions. Note of the all are used this reaction for the production of the energy. So the produced amount of energy by these two reactions, if we compare the maximum energy production less very less energy this occurred in all organs only in brain and liver cells, only liver cells. In both presence or absence of oxygen, only in presence of oxygen, only in presence of only in presence of oxygen. These are the major differences in the three pathways of oxidation that are used for the fatty acids: beta oxidation, alpha oxidation, and omega oxidation. So best of the oxidative pathway that is used for the oxidation of fatty acids is the beta oxidation, because it produces a maximum amount of energy. It occurred in all organs and it can be occurred both in the presence of the oxygen or in the absence of the oxygen. That's all about the today's lecture for the oxidation, alpha oxidation and omega oxidation of the fatty acids. At the end, I give the comparison of these three oxidation processes: the beta oxidation process, alpha oxidation process, and omega oxidation process. Students, if you have any questions regarding this lecture, and if you not understand the mechanisms behind this beta oxidation, alpha oxidation, and omega oxidation, or you have any questions regarding the energy production, how much amount of energy is produced by the different fatty acids by undergoing this beta oxidation and alpha oxidation and omega oxidation, you may please ask the questions. You can ask me questions by putting your comments in the comment section of the YouTube channel, or either you can approach me on my WhatsApp number or on my email address. Thank you so very much, students. I hope you will understand this topic today. Thank you so very much. Allah Hafiz.